it's Leah and welcome to another video. Before we get started on the video, please like, share, comment and subscribe for more content. I make videos about veganism, eating disorders, parenting and hopefully many different topics in the future. So if that vibes with you in any way, if you are attracted to that, please stick around and subscribe. I'd be very encouraged to make more videos if you did, so please do that. And before I get started with anything, please excuse the exquisite lighting that touches my face. No, it is nighttime and I'm just doing with some of the lighting I have, which is not great. I'm very sorry about that, but you're an amateur or you're not, right? I'm an amateur. I totally take responsibility for that. But today's video is a follow-up of my third video for Eating Disorders Awareness Week. I actually thought of a few things that I wanted to add that could kind of fit into its own video today. And that being specifically, am I sick enough with my eating disorder? Do I even have an eating disorder? And if I do, am I sick enough to ask for help and to be valid in my experience? And I can make this video very short. Yes, you are always valid. And you're always justified in asking for help. And so, just to kind of explain why that latches on with the last video. In the last video I talked about do eating disorders have a look? And although the answer to that is a straight no, society does push upon us that eating disorders have a certain physique and that if you don't fall into those specific physiques, you're all good, everything's fine, got no problem. And that is very untrue. If you're struggling, whatever your struggle is with food, you deserve to be heard and helped out of your struggle. And I find it bewildering that we ask people to be basically on their deathbed before we consider they need help when it comes to eating disorders. Think about it. Basically, we think that let's take an example of anorexia. An absolutely skeletal person that is so malnourished that they are on the verge of dying deserves help. And I'm not questioning that. Of course they deserve help. But this person, maybe several months ago, maybe several years ago, was maybe in the same mental state as they are now that you see them malnourished, but in a healthier body. And that's when they needed help. It was when the disease was starting to take over them that they needed help, or at least that the help would have been the most efficient. It's the kind of thing as any illness that you want to nip in the bud. Would you think it rational, and I certainly wouldn't, but would anyone think it rational to say to a cancer patient, oh no, your cancer isn't too far gone, just wait, you don't need any help, but you're all good to go. You're not like dying in front of me, so you're all good to go. No, because we always insist on catching diseases early, catching diabetes early, catching infections early, catching immune diseases early, catching cancers early, whatever it is, it's always better to catch a disease early, right? And it's exactly the same for mental problems. We don't need to wait until somebody is in a physical condition where they are risking their lives to help them. And they do not need to be in that condition to think that it's okay to ask for help, because we've imposed this idea that you cannot be disordered if your body looks more or less healthy. So whoever you are, if anyone is trying to tell you that you are not sick enough, or that maybe you've convinced yourself that you're not sick enough, if you struggle with your eating and food and have any kind of struggle with that, you are valid and you are sick enough to be to be helped and to be heard. If you're asking yourself, do I have an eating disorder? The likelihood of you having one is high because most people don't ask themselves that question. And so you definitely owe it to yourself to do something to at least get better. And the earlier you do it, the better. And that's really a whole other topic, but that's where the diet culture we live in and so on is extremely toxic, is that we very, very rarely take it so early that it's easy to get out of. Because it's normal to restrict your food. It's normal to, be on this diet and that diet all the time. It's considered a good thing if you lose a bunch of weight. Oh, how amazing. And we're therefore put into this situation where what I'm doing is normal, but it's not. You're actually potentially damaging yourself. There's a very fine line between losing weight for your health, for example, and losing it because you feel that you have to look a certain way or whatever it is for you. And the kinds of things that you can do for yourself are to start with the easy things. Joining a Facebook group that is pro-recovery, looking at different YouTube channels that are helpful for recovery. For anorexia, I can definitely recommend ones like Megzi Recovery, Daphne Fisher, Macy Eleni, Elzani, what Mia did next. More kind of general eating disorders, Jen Brett is excellent. I don't have any references that come to mind for binge eating disorders, but I'm sure they're out there. Just really inspirational. Oh yeah, Rebecca Lung as well for anorexia. Just really inspirational content that can give you hope that you can get better, and also to just validate your experiences. Hearing other people say, I experienced this, and this, will make you realize that yes, you are sick enough. Whatever degree to which you are sick enough to be helped. And then maybe reach out to a friend and family that can be supportive, and maybe get their take on things and have them be accountable as well with you, or whatever it is that helps you. And I would say the golden standard definitely to see a professional. You can go and see your GP, you can go and see a therapist if you're lucky enough to have one, if you're in a situation where you need to be inpatient and you're also lucky to have those kinds of facilities around you. Get admitted for that. A nutritionist. And even then, let me just say that some professionals will say, oh no, you're okay, you're good to go. Let's say I went to the GP right now and said that I had an eating disorder. I'm pretty sure many would wave me off. Many would tell me, yeah, then there's no problem there. And if that happens, go and see another one, and another one, and another one, because you deserve to be better. Life can be, and if done the right way, if you with the right tools, you can get better. And life, this is not what life's about. Whatever struggles you're going on with food, that's not something that everybody goes through. It's not something you have to go through. It is something you can move through and get to the other side from. And I really want to encourage stress that you are sick enough. You don't have to settle for a little bit sick or very sick or whatever it is that people tell you is not sick enough, because it's always sick enough. Whatever struggle you're going through is enough to warrant help and sympathy and a helping hand to get you through. And another thing that I want to touch on, another kind of scenario that I want to touch on, is not only are you always sick enough in the beginning and middle stages, if you like, of your eating disorders, you're also completely sick enough in the later stages of your eating disorders, let me explain what I mean by that. As I explained in my previous video, your body, your mind gets sick way before your body, right? But in the same way, meaning that you can be completely sick enough in your mind to warrant help, but it not show through your body. So at that stage, you are sick enough to be heard and helped. That's one thing. But another thing is when you have moved through your eating disorder and you are on the path to recovery and are physically in a better place, whether that means for you getting to a healthy BMI, whether that means getting closer to your set point if you weren't really clinically underweight before, whatever it is for you, even when your body is healed, you still are sick enough to need help afterwards because the mind recovers much slower than the body. So even when everybody else is maybe saying, oh, this person physically looks okay now, nothing to be worried about, you are still sick enough. Well, I mean, you might be, that's only you can know, but you say you're struggling still, you are still sick enough to be able to reach out and ask for help and be valid. You are heard, you are loved, you are worthy of being heard in your struggle and being heard in your distress. And even if people around don't particularly understand because they only think, oh, the body seems to be fine, everything must be okay, it's not like that. And you need to find somebody, preferentially a professional, that can understand that, that can take your hand through the process of getting you to a place where you're not sick but healthy again. Or healthy, because in my case I was never healthy to begin with in my eating. So I hope that that place exists for me. Anyway, I will be making a bit of a different video tomorrow, so stick around for the 5th and final take for this Eating Disorder Awareness Week. And if you like content like this, please share, like, comment and subscribe. It makes my heart all happy every time somebody subscribes. So please do that, I would love it. And we will be seeing each other very soon, and I'll be making lots more content. So fire that button, just fire it, because you don't want to be missing out, do you? Bye, see you for day 5, because I'm crushing this 5-day streak. See you guys!